Hello beautiful people, you are still watching CBA TV, the voice of East Africa and beyond. My name is Balogun Arishekola Abdelaziz and I welcome you to your program, your dialing program, Talk to CBA. This is a program where we bring different caliber of people to discuss issues that is happening around us. And with me on the show today is no other person but Barkhad Abib Hassan. He happened to be the Director of Planning of Ministry of Trade and Commerce in our country, Somaliland. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. I just introduced you in a little way, in my own way. I want you to tell our viewers who is Barkhad Abib Hassan.
My name is, as you said, is Barkhad Abib Hassan. I'm the Director of Planning and Development of Ministry of Trade, Industries and Tourism. Under my department, there are almost 25 people who are working under my supervision, work in different sectors, including like economy, trade, planning all the activities ongoing within the ministry.
Thank you very much. Firstly, as the Director of Planning, of this very big ministry, I would like you to tell us the important, what exactly this ministry stands for.
As you can see, the name Ministry of Trade, Industries and Tourism, it's containing three main areas to work on, including trade. When we are saying trade, it includes business development. It includes all issues related to private sector development, industries as well, which is part of the trade, as well as tourism. So these are three major sectors for the economy of the country, for the progress and for what the ministry is doing in these areas is to ensure creation of an enabling environment for private sector development, laying the policies, laying the regulations, formulating all things that would help the private sector growth, and as well as not only growth but also sustainable development for private sector. In this area, we've done a lot of progress to ensure that the private sector goes up and resolve all their challenges. So the ministry has a very big role in this area to ensure that even the tourism sector, which is very, very important sector in our economy, to be one that's bringing a lot of economy, a lot of tourists, not only for local people but also for foreign and international tourists. And for the past 3 years since the new government has come, we've done a lot of work in that area to ensure that we have beautiful tourism sites, not only tourism sites but also developed archaeology sites. Somaliland is very good at in this area, and now we are working on to ensure that we give to public more about what is going on in Somaliland, these archaeological sites. In this area, we would be even very happy that CBA to be part of media apparatus who are promoting the Somaliland archaeological sites like Lasgale, which is very big and very important site, not only for Somaliland but even for the whole world.
Thank you very much. And let me say, on behalf of management of CBA TV, I promise you that we'll always be on ground to, promote the archaeological side of the country. Now, when you are talking the other time, you made mention of small scale. We have different kind of businesses. I would like to ask, what is this ministry doing to ensure that all businesses are, maybe putting together to register them under the umbrella of this ministry for proper monitoring?
This is very good. For those type of small enterprises, in Somaliland, we have what we call National Development Plan, and now we are almost ending the second National Development Plan second Development National Plan. Prior we start to the development of this plan, we asked a question among us, the government key sectors for the economy, saying that our economy is mono economy. That means one single source economy, which primarily or predominantly only livestock sector. So the question comes up, why don't we diversify our economy and ensure that MSMEs, those sectors are called MSMEs, or micro, small, medium enterprise. Why don't we develop those sector? And the question comes up, in order to develop this sector, we need a policy, and Ministry of Trade should ensure that the policy should be in place. So what we are doing is to create a conducive environment for this sector, for these MSMEs to improve and grow up. And the good news is that now we have a very interesting policy which will help these type of enterprises, micro, small and medium enterprises. And now the policy is now working and very effective. So we are doing to ensure that, you know, when we are saying micro, small and medium enterprises, they are informal economy. They are the people who are like children, like who are babies, who are just like, you know, cropping and need to be given due attention in order them to grow up and become like very strong, you know, part of the economy. So we have given due attention to this, we developed the policy, and now we have started to ensure that the policy works, so that they prosper and they become strong. Because in our economy, we say that they don't grow up more than 5 years. These MSMEs, they don't grow up, they don't live longer than 5 years. And the question is why? The government should give the policy. Once the policy is in there, the policy should work to ensure that this is, you know, very, very productive. And now the good news is that we have done many progress and achievements in this area.
Thank you very much. You just hit the nail on the head now, because that exactly lead me to the next question. Your ministry, you are the one that is like incorporating all these businesses. I want you to mention to my viewers at home, what are the achievements? You know, you just talk about putting together a policy. What are the achievements you can say the ministry have achieved so far in this aspect?
This gives me or takes me back to 2012, when the World Bank has conducted a survey on a study on doing business. As you say, Ministry of Trade, Industry and Tourism is all about trade, it's all about business, it's all about economic development. So in that survey, the World Bank has shown up that the doing business in Somaliland is very backward, is not improving. For example, we've been ranked 174th out of 183 economies worldwide. That means in terms of doing business, we have been very backward in terms of doing business. When we are saying doing business, we have indicators. For example, a starting business indicator, how one person starts a business. What is the procedure for registering a business? What the benefits and the support that the government, the ministry is providing to this in order to ensure that these businesses are growing very well. So what we've done so far is to change totally the Company Act. The Company Act, which was not aligned with the development of the country, with sustainable development goals, we have now implementing. So we did change, because these were the recommendations coming from that survey. So we changed the policy, we changed the act, the Companies Act. Now the Companies Act has given a very good environment for businesses to grow. Good example is that if you want to register your business, it would take you like 30 days, like a month to register your business. Now it takes like 2 days. This is a very good progress that has been done because of the survey, because of the assessment that has been done, comparing Somaliland with other 183 economies worldwide. So now we have ensured that the ministry provides these businesses a platform or an environment where they can make their businesses from informal sector to formal economy through bringing all key stakeholders for business registrations, for business licensing under one roof. Now they are seated at the ministry, all of them they are seated. It will take you not more than 2 days. Apart from that, the ministry has undertaken to ensure that relevant policies for those very informal economy level is developed, and that has been developed, like I said earlier. And now at the moment, when it comes to businesses, we have also started automation of these businesses. For example, you can register your business while you are in Uganda, while you are in Kenya, while you are anywhere in the world. Just click. Now the world seems that it's like at the tips of your fingertips, at the tips of your finger. Because of that development ongoing around the world, we tried and now working very hard to ensure that Somaliland is aligned with this developing world. In addition to that, we have given very due attention to the tourism aspect, where we are now doing a lot of work in that area.
Thank you very much. This is Somaliland, and all what we are doing is to promote this country and our economy to, actually booming. We'll go on a short break now, and when we come back, we'll still be talking about many important issues. We'll be right back. If you are just joining us, this is CBA TV, the voice of East Africa and beyond. I still remain my humble self, Balogun Arishekola Aziz. I'm still on the matter, my guest. Now, before we go on break, you've told us what you have been able to achieve. But I want you to now talk about this, because we all know that this small-scale business, we can find them so much around us, and they are key in promoting the economy of the country. I want to know if there is anything, any program that government are putting in place to support these people.
Thank you very much. We have a plan that's a national plan. The plan says, for example, there are outcomes, interventions that are written within the plan, and these plans should be implemented. The question is, who is going to implement? The government contains different sectors. Ministry of Trade is one of those sectors, and is implementing directly all interventions related to MSMEs, related to the economy. Your question regards this, for example, if you look at the intervention which says increase access to finance for MSMEs, look at by 50% by the end of 2021. So in order to increase the access to finance, because these are like informal people who are very childs, and ministry's remit and responsibility is to ensure that these micro and small businesses have access to all facilities for their development, and that starts with coordination. What is that type of coordination? For example, now there are different types of projects, there are different types of interventions being done by private sector, being done by local and international NGOs. So the ministry has started to coordinate with this, to talk to them about the MSMEs, to give them awareness about the policy that has been developed, so that we achieve that outcome of increased access to finance by 50%, to ensure that there is a very good relationship with the ministry. Now we are developing MSME platform of dialogue or coordination platform. So this platform brings together all key stakeholders to discuss issues, pressuring and putting them, as a challenge for their growth. Before this, we have had a quarter meeting that brings together all key stakeholders. It's called ESCOM. What does that ESCOM mean? ESCOM means Economic Sector Coordination Meeting. It brings together all key stakeholders for the economy, be they are part of the government, be they NGOs, be they are private sector, and even MSMEs. We discuss about every issue that will affect the development of this type of enterprises. They ask questions to government agencies. These policies I'm telling, these laws I'm telling, they come from because of these discussions. And now anything that's discussed within that meeting, the MOTIT, or Ministry of Trade, Industry and Tourism, undertakes a positive step before we go to the next meeting. So these are very ongoing initiatives to streamline and reform the entire business environment for Somaliland. And now it seems that we are now improving in our economy because of these coordinations, because of these consultations and discussions. And at this time, as a ministry, we take the leadership for this area. Before, there were other international companies or NGOs who were playing an active role, but now it seems that Ministry of Trade is taking the leadership role, because we have understood very well that without the government's support, without the strong part of Ministry of Trade in this area, no sustainable development could be made in this area.
That's fantastic, and I can see you're doing so much. Now, let's quickly talk about tourists. We all believe, like, the name of your ministry is Ministry of Trade, Planning and Tourist, actually. Now, tourists, it's very, very key for the development of any nation. And in Somaliland, we have many tourist attractions. When we talk of Lasgale, we can talk of Berbera Beach and what have you. What are you doing, in this aspect, to make sure that we attract more investors through these tourist attractions?
As a nation, we have a vision. That vision is called Vision 2030. That vision states like stable, democratic and prosperous country where everyone enjoys high quality of life. This is a Vision 2030. Under this vision, we have a national plan, like I have reiterated earlier. So there are certain areas of intervention that are stated and reflected within the plan. For example, outcome related to tourism states increase tourism sites, tourism development, or increase tourism contribution to GDP by 10% by the end of 2021. So the question is how you want to increase the 10% that's required from tourism aspect to the GDP. We've done a lot of interventions in this area. When it comes to tourism aspect for Somaliland, we have very large number of archaeological sites. We have done some work in this area. Number one, we have almost 166 archaeological sites. When we are saying 166 archaeological sites, means sites which shed light on sites which talk about very ancient history of maybe decades, very long time, centuries before, and they talk about the life of those very early people. So it includes Lasgale is one of them, but Lasgale is not the best place, but this is the only site which is known by the entire world, or most of the world tourists. If you look at the statistics of 2019, because 2020 was a year of no movement, was a year that people have not been able to move from one location to another. In Somaliland, we have had 900 tourists who visited Lasgale and other sites in Somaliland. These were only tourists, 900 foreign tourists. Look at, not only local is not included. 900 people who are only for tourism sector. They came for visiting Somaliland locations. Predominantly, they visited Lasgale. So Lasgale, we've done a lot of work in this area. You don't know maybe Abasa, you don't know Dagah Kure, Biyakulul, Qiblatain. All these are archaeological sites. They talk about the history of very ancient people. Now the government has done very good effort since the new government of President Musabi has arrived with the leadership of Minister of Trade, Industry and Tourism, Mahmoud Hassan Saad Sachin. We have fenced to ensure the protection of these sites strengthened. We've built barkats where people who are visiting can access water. We've built latrines. We've built solar-powered panels to ensure that it's lighting up even in the nighttime. So Lasgale, if you look at Lasgale, we have done as a ministry fencing of 2.5 kilometers. All of them has been financed from the budget of the government. So this is to ensure that these sites, which are very historical for the country, not only for the country, but even for the globe, that they are protected and they are left for the human being to visit, to read the history backward, ancient, very, ancient times.
Thank you very much, and I really give kudos to the ministry for doing all this, especially for foreigners, to come and visit Somaliland. So I use this opportunity to call many other people, national and international NGO to come to Somaliland, and you will see what you have maybe never seen before. Thank you very much. Now we'll be talking about your recent event, which is the launch of an app for a business organization. But before we go there, I would like our viewers to look at the wrap up of that event so that they can understand what we'll be talking about. So we'll be right back after this video. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Furi fi amba inoo noqoni kuwa badan oo kale furi doona insha Allah.
A well-organized event hosted by the Ministry of Commerce, Industries and Tourism of Somaliland held in Hargeisa. This event, which the ministry launched a new service program called Hoxiye, a business information line, was attended by the Minister of Commerce, Mahmoud Hassan Saad Sajin, the Chairman of Somaliland Chamber of Commerce, and the Director General of Somaliland's Ministry of Investment. Mahmoud Sachin, the Minister of Commerce who cut ribbons for the service program, said that Hoxiye will facilitate making it easy for the business community and the tourists to have direct communication with the ministry while dialing the calling center of 9444.
We integrated business process improvement in regards to commercial, tourism and industry. This here, what we did is to facilitate, making easy for the business people, wherever they are, in the different regions of Somaliland, to have direct online service where they can contact call center within the ministry, asking for the requirement for their business registration. And also for the tourist people to get proper information for the different most important sites within Somaliland.
Barkhad Abib Hassan, the Director of Planning and Development for the Ministry of Trade, has uploaded this new business information line service, and he'll elaborate more how it will be functioning.
This project will help business people to find information regarding business registration. You will call 944-9444, where you will access all information. In addition to that, the service will speak in 3 languages, Arabic, Somali and English, and will help reduce the timeline as well as the procedure and the cost for everyone who is willing to start a procedure, business registration. I'm saying to all of you, please call 9444 and find all information within this.
Ibrahim Muhammad Ismail, the Director of Communication Technology Department for the Ministry of Trade, has expressed his expectations of this new service and also thanked anyone involved in the implementation of this service.
Today we launched the Hoxiye service, which will add value to the business people, where previously there was an information gap among the society, people and business people. They don't know about the information that exists inside the ministry, the laws, the acts, and how to register. So now this service will cover that information gap. Now they will have a short code 9444 where they can easily call that number from their SIM cards for Telesom and Somtel, and then they will find the pre-recorded information.
This new service is collaboration between the Ministry of Commerce, Shaqadon and its part organizations. Hoxiye will enable the public and the tourists to get proper information from the ministry.
Thank you for joining us again. I hope you enjoyed that short clip. This will now lead me to this very question. The service program that this ministry recently launched, I want you to explain to us of what important is that program.
This is called Business Information Center, in other words. Hoxiye is a purely Somali term, but for non-Somali speakers, this service is called Business Information Center. One of the key challenges for the economy, for businesses to grow up, for business to sustain in the market, they are seeking information. Look at the person living in Arigabo. Look at the person living in Borama. Regions of the country, internal regions of the country, they need information. They don't have to come to the Ministry of Trade to register their businesses. They have to register their businesses while they are in their respective locations. So the ministry has undertaken a survey to understand more what's in the mind of these business people who want to join in the formal economy. One of the key challenges they mentioned that is lack of access to full information about their businesses. Hence, the ministry has coordinated with local NGOs, Shakaton, Spark, one of the key partners who have collaborated with us, development of this business information center. It's called 9444. 9444. In this code, we have put in all information that are very supportive for business people. So, number one, if you want to register your business, please dial number 9444. When you dial this number, you will access these informations. Number one, how you want to register, the steps that you will take to register your business. Not only business registrations, even if you don't find useful for the information within the code, you have access to call directly to the Ministry of Trade. There are direct calls within this system. You will call Ministry of Trade team. We have a call center team at the information center. They will respond to you, and then they will give you all the information you want if you don't find useful what has been recorded within this information center. In addition to that, the system or the center is not only providing business registration services, it's also providing what we call BDS. BDS, what does it mean? Business development services. You know, businesses can't grow if they don't find development services. What are these development services? For example, how you want to manage your business, how you want to do proposals, how you want to have a contracts, how you want to have work relations with other partners or companies, proposals. All these are very paramount importance for businesses to grow up. So BDS are businesses or part of the companies who provide these services. So we are creating a network between those who provide these services and the micro, small, medium enterprises to give them platform to grow up. In addition to that, the center is providing access to finance information. We put inside the center all the information about banks, about financial institutions, microfinance institutions who work in the field of access to finance. We have done a survey, we have done an assessment, online assessment. Now the government is working on what we call e-government. Now we are moving from much more paperwork to online and what we called e-governance system. So we have done online survey that has taken like a week, very interesting, very sharp, very quick. Once we have done that survey, we put all of the information is within the center. You can access all finance related information within the system. Also tourism sites. So within this business information center, namely in Somali Hoxie, provides all the avenues, all the opportunities that these businesses will grow up. It will be very good opportunity for people living in around the regions of the country, villages of the country. It's a service that will help them grow up.
That is very, I don't know, it's fantabulous. Don't let me say fantastic, it's very good. To all business owners out there, maybe you have a business or you are planning to have a business, all you need to do is just dial 9444 and you're there. Thank you very much. Before I wrap up this program, because we are running out of time, I would like you to tell us, in a program like this, there will always be room for, improvements, plans of how you want to widen the scope of, this system. Is there any plan for improvement on this system?
Yes. Always there is a gap between the community, between the business people, between the customers, between the people who want to be provided platform to grow up, and the government. The government is undertaking reforms, is undertaking very hard work. Maybe all this information I'm telling the community people are not aware of. So here we have a gap. Media is the one that's building or breaching that gap. So be a friend to the government institutions who are working with these reforms. For example, let's have a dialogue and discussions and all the meetings that are happening that CBA coordinates with them to ensure that this information is taken to a wide range of uses of the information who highly require it. And you know that our business people, they don't read a lot, they don't follow up the government's reforms, so there is a gap here. So ensure that you strengthen and build up or breach this gap through effective coordination with government agencies, Ministry of Trade, Central Bank, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Investment. There are a lot of reforms ongoing in this, and maybe most of the community, most of the people are not aware of these reforms. So ensure that this breach is always, coordinated and effectively breached this gap, and take to a wider audience.
Thank you very much. On a very, let me say, is it final note, but in still winding up, I want to ask you, this ministry, it consists of like three big things: trade, investment, and tourist. Can you tell me, where do you see this ministry in the next 5 to 10 years?
In the next 5-10 years, we have a vision. Our vision is called a nation with a competitive, sustainable private sector. While tourism is also contributing a lot to the GDP, which is aligned with National Vision 2030. So this is the vision. So our vision is that we ensure creation of an enabling environment. For whom? For the private sector. This environment is not only giving room for the private sector to grow along, but also sustainable within the market. Because our problem is that we always see businesses are growing, and after 5 years they are dying. Ministry of Trade is willing that the competition in the market is free and fair for all, that businesses are growing, because ground businesses, they will create what? They will create more jobs. They will create with innovations, technology development, skills. Our major problem is limited human capital, limited skills. We don't have people who are very qualified in the area of business management, business development, industries. We are now working on industrialization. We cannot move from where we are to where we want to be in the next 5 years without having industrialization strategy that is responding to the Vision 2030. And Ministry of Trade is working on improving this environment, improving and ensuring that the businesses are not dying because of lack of skills, because of lack of information. So we will do policies finalized, we will do regulations and laws finalized, and these laws and regulations will be regulations which will help grow for the businesses in the long term to respond to the Vision 2030.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate you for speaking to CBA. It's give us a very, great pleasure, in speaking with you. And to my viewers at home, this is where we'll be rounding up the program. I still remain your host, Balogun Arishekola Aziz, and you are watching CBA TV, the voice of East Africa and beyond. Till I come your way next time, bye for now.